I'm Elton Sherwin, and this is the short video series, The Bible and Homosexuality. Today we're talking about the second Clobber verse, the second verse in the Bible that is commonly used to condemn homosexuals and homosexuality, the story of the murder of the Levite's concubine. This story has some parallels with the previous story of Sodom and Gomorrah. A Levite has retrieved his runaway concubine, some Bible commentators say second wife. On the way home, he enters the city of Gibeah in Benjamin, and in the town square, an old man invites the Levite and his concubine to stay at his house. Later, and we pick up the story here in the book of Judges, some of the wicked men of the city surround the house, pounding on the door. They shouted to the old man who owned the house, "Bring out the man who came to your home, the Levite, so we can have sex with him." So in both stories, this one and Sodom and Gomorrah, the travelers are offered hospitality. Gangs of men pound on the door, demanding to sexually abuse the visitors. And then the groups of men are offered the homeowners' virgin daughters instead. We picked it up again in Judges. But the men would not listen. So the Levite took his concubine, or his unhappy, rebellious second wife, and sent her outside to them. And they raped her and they abused her throughout the night. We see here an image from a medieval manuscript of her in the morning left on the doorstep. The Levite returns home. It's not clear from the text when exactly the concubine dies, but when he gets home, he takes a knife, he cuts up his concubine limb by limb into 12 parts and sent them into all areas of Israel. This starts a civil war between the tribes of Israel and the tribe of Benjamin for their poor behavior and poor hospitality. The story takes many dark twists and turns and consumes 2 more chapters in the book of Judges. As in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, we see the low status of women. Even the good guys offer their virgin daughters to the mob. The stories are clearly not about homosexuals, and they're certainly not about consensual sex, straight or homosexual. Thousands die in this dark story that consumes 3 chapters in the book of Judges. Mob violence, gang rape, murder, tribal warfare, genocide, and the enslavement and forced marriages of over 400 girls. So what's the story about? Is it about hospitality to travelers, gang rape, tribal warfare, genocide, abusing women? Well, it's probably about all of the above, but it's certainly not about homosexuals or homosexuality. The murder of the Levite's concubine foreshadows the treatment of Native peoples around the world, Black Americans, and the others. It has everything that we see in these stories throughout time. Mob violence, the murder of women and children, firebombing and burning of villages and towns, gang rape, genocide of whole towns, and the enslavement of women. And every element in this story parallels stories in the American West, the American South, and during World War II. So I hope I've convinced you that these stories have nothing to do with consensual homosexual relationship and marriages that we see today. The next video in our series is a master class. It's a deeper dive into these two difficult passages, and it asks a question that isn't central to understanding it, but it left me asking this question: why do large groups of men want to sexually abuse other men? So we look at several theories that have been proposed, intriguing theories, and then in the following video, we will look at the two remaining Clobber verses in the Old Testament. These verses in Leviticus appear to condemn all homosexuality, and we will look at what the Old Testament authors were actually saying. Until next time, this is Eldon Sherwin. You can click here to see the next video.